used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity because of grace.
KBLA Talk 1580. It's hard to talk over her. I mean, her voice is just like, wow, crazy, amazing. Just want to sit here and listen. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. So excited, though, to welcome into the space right now this morning an award-winning playwright, the founder of Black Girlz Productions, and learn about her work as an entrepreneur. Brilliant Girl and Black Girlz Productions are the companies she has founded. Shaneisha Dodson joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome in. First of all, congratulations to you on reaching this stage. Anytime you work on a play or a film, this type of project, it seems easy to everyone looking from the outside in, but anytime you get a finished script, play ready to go up, movie ready to open, you're talking about months and many times years of work behind that.
Absolutely.
So tell me about your love letters to a black man. It sounds like this is something that you did. You used a very different kind of process to come up with this material.
I did. So the first time I did love letters to the black man was in 2019 in Houston, Texas. So what I did was did an international call for monologues, and I selected the best 8. So I decided to combine a number of different arts to celebrate the black man. So we did like a video doc. You have all these black men saying what they love most about being a black man. And then we did a reading of the monologues. We had a 3-male panel. And then we closed out with a comedian so we could end on a high note.
All right. Well, let's talk about this concept. You know, right now we're in a time where there's a lot of division, right, between black men and black women, at least on social media, even if it's not in real life, in the political discourse, in social media. You first mounted this in 2019, and you kind of crowdsourced your monologues, which I think is really interesting. Tell me how the current dynamic that we're in with the manosphere and the, and the sort of battle of the sexes that's taking place in the public square played into your mission here with love letters to the black man.
My mission here was just to be able to show that we all can get along together. We all can live in the same spaces. We just have to love each other, congratulate each other, because everything doesn't have to be a fight. And like you said, on social media with different podcasts and things, it always appears to be us battling against each other, and that's not always the case.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of the times it's not the case. I try, we do a lot of showcases on relationships and whatnot here, just to make sure we affirm the fact that actually most of the time we are united. We are raising our kids. It's just like when you watch I know Jerry Springer, may he rest in peace, you watch these talk shows. Many times it seems like black men never choose black women never choose black men, and we just put each other down and snatch wigs. The same thing with a lot of the reality shows. But in real life, I see lots of hardworking African-American couples and families of various iterations very united, very dedicated to each other, and sticking together throughout all odds. What did you find in the material that you received for this project?
I think the biggest thing was like healing. Like talking to the different males, it was like healing a lot of past like childhood trauma and just being a black man in America, and how, you know, just walking outside could be a stressful thing for you. So you're already stressed when you walk outside. Then when you get home, you still stressed out. So how does that affect your family dynamic? So it was just getting down to the root of, you know, issues that we need to work on as a black community, and then being able to provide a safe space for black males to be transparent, to be honest about the experience, to be honest as to the different ways that we can show them love. So it's just putting everything out without anyone being judged, just an opportunity to be transparent and to be able to express the different things that's on your heart.
Yeah. And how do you think we, as black women, what is our role at this point in, you know, I know you have a background in psychology also. You got a BA in psychology and counseling, MA in counseling. And so I'm sure that moving us to a more healthy space when you talk about healing has to come through your work, right? So I guess what I'm asking is, what should our role be? Because I think a lot of times, I'm going to speak for myself, I get defensive. You go online, well, you guys need to stop saying you're independent. You need to stop saying, I don't run around. I'm not one of these women that runs around saying, I don't need a man. Because what's the point of that? Like, to me, what do you want? What do you want to nurture in your life? But then again, I think this idea of being attacked because you are independent is problematic. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to be, you don't want someone in my life, right? But a lot of people don't have that option. So I think to attack people for trying to find a way forward in dignity and joy is very problematic. And that defensive reaction pushes us further apart. When we come forward, Shaneisha Dodson, I want to get your take on what is the role we should be playing. You don't want to be part of the problem, but you also don't want to be bashed for living your life and doing the best you can with what you are, where you are right now. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
Out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Need help with the job hunt? It can be challenging, but don't worry. LA County has your back. With a variety of available support services, you'll get the help you need while finding a job. We're here to help you succeed. Let's get started. Find out if you qualify at recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. That's recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. LA County and you, moving forward together. Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet. The faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Venus for Pubic Hair and Skin is here with the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about our full regimen of products.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Shaneisha Dodson is my guest. She is an entrepreneur and a playwright. And the production is Love Letters to the Black Man. She crowdsourced monologues from all over the world. The furthest one she received was from Africa, selected, I think you said, 8 of the best ones. But I'm asking you, when we talk about love letters to the black man, which I'm all for that, right, that conversation, how do we stand? I mean, I know part of your mission in your company, Brilliant Girl, right, is to help black girls dream big and, and reimagine ourselves and such. So how do you walk that line between being accused of being independent and I don't need no man and, supposedly we're acting too masculine, but at the same time you want to be supportive and write that love letter and show that unity with a black man? What's the sweet spot, Ms. Dodson?
I think the sweet spot is being able to stand your ground. Because when you think about the people who go on social media and different things and complain about women being too masculine or women being too independent, I think they have to step back and look like, why is this woman in this position? Like most women, if you got a masculine man that's holding it down and doing things, that feminine side will come out. But sometimes you put into a position to where you have to hold it down, and that can be perceived as being masculine. And that doesn't make it, bad on us, because I'm an independent woman too, but I don't go around screaming it from the roof, hey, I'm independent, I don't need a man.
Well,
I can provide for myself,
right.
But...
Right. I mean, and what is an independent woman? I mean, yeah, okay, I have a job, I pay my bills, if that's what you mean, then okay, but I think there's just a lot of implications to that, that is, like you said. Yeah. And you said if you have a masculine man, but what is a masculine man?
And when I hear people talk about masculinity and feminine, that's a good question. What exactly does masculine mean to you?
Right.
Because a lot of times when I hear them saying, hey, women are masculine, this and that, if you look at the person that that's coming out of, they usually have their own, deep-rooted issues, and that's their way of inflicting that or imposing those views onto other people. And that's why I believe in therapy. People got to talk things out and work through things. You got to get yourself together.
Yeah, as you said, that's why I believe in therapy. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going the same place you are, but that's why therapy is important. Because a lot of times you think about now with social media, podcasts, and different things, anybody has a platform. So anybody can get up there and say absolutely anything and then claim for that to be gospel.
Right, and then we go around repeating it. Sharing it, reposting it without investigating it and seeing, who paid for this, what's their agenda, what's their background, is this verifiable, is it true? Also, I think our ideas about what is masculine and what is feminine or gender in general are changing, right? We're on a spectrum.
I think a lot of times people contradict themselves. Because again, you want this woman to be feminine, but when most people think about feminine, you think about a woman who you're going to take care of, a woman who you can provide for. But then on the other end of the spectrum, if you have to provide for a woman, sometimes they say they're gold diggers. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation depending on who you're talking to or whoever's voicing their opinion. That's why I always tell people, do what's right for you. Find that person that's right for you. Don't accept anything lower than what you feel like you deserve in life.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because we are shamed for being independent, but then we're shamed for not contributing to the household if we don't work. Well, what do you bring to the table? And it reminds me of men who say they like women without makeup, but really what they mean is they like women who look like they don't have makeup, even though they have on a ton of makeup because they want you to be flawless. Now, and I'm not just like here to have a complaint session about black men. I happen to be a woman who deeply regards black men, appreciates, celebrates them. But how do we heal? You started with healing, and that being one of the missions of this piece, Love Letters to the Black Man. So talk to me about what that looks like.
Healing to me looks like being able to openly communicate. Because a lot of times with us, that's the problem. We don't know how to communicate with each other. And like you say, our natural defense sometimes is, I'm going to get defensive, so I'm going to say something. Versus let's listen to each other without the intent to react. Let me really hear where you're coming from like a genuine place. And maybe after I'm able to receive that, I can give it back to you from a genuine place. But most of the time, we're very defensive, so we just butting heads with each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have a hard time getting our points across, male and females. So sometimes things go left real quick instead of us just sitting there, taking it in to receive it, not with the intent to let me instantly pop off or let me instantly react to that. Let me see where this person is coming from, and then just go from there.
Oh, this piece, it doesn't just focus on relationships. I started there because of your work to sort of uplift black girls, but also because of the title of this piece, Love Letters to the Black Man. But you cover lots of different topics within that, right? Love and forgiveness, even gun violence. So you're casting a broad net. But what are you hoping that you'll, when you talk about healing, what are you hoping you can accomplish? So many times with art, hopefully there is a message. There is a social impact. I mean, my father, the late Mary Baraka, used to say all art is political, right? So it makes more sense to set out with an intention and know what you mean to do rather than just say any old thing and see where, see who you end up serving. So what was the intention that you set out with in terms of the social, political impact of this particular piece?
With this piece and everything that I write, all my plays, all my production, is to bring about positive social change, which is always addressing issues that may be uncomfortable for us to talk about. But we got to do that in order to heal as a community. Because, sometimes they'd be like, don't talk about that, keep family secrets in the house, sweep this under the rug or whatever. But just to be able to provide a positive environment for healing. Like I have a production coming up November the 4th at the Miracle in Inglewood. It's going to bring awareness to domestic violence. So everything is about healing and talking about those uncomfortable topics.
Yeah, that's not easy. Okay, so November 4th, Miracle Theater, Inglewood. What time?
So 7 p.m. The title of that play is I'll Be Single Before I Settle.
Okay, sounds like a phone call or two that I've had with a few girlfriends. I'll be single before I settle. And how does that relate to Love Letters to the Black Man? Because it almost sounds like the opposite.
So with this one, Love Letters to the Black Man, that's art, that's about healing positive issues. This one is about telling people it's okay to get out of bad relationships. Yeah. If somebody's not treating you right, regardless of their race, come on out of that because you can end up dying from that. So it's giving people the courage to speak out about things that they're going through in life, and it gives them the courage to be able to walk away.
Are you single?
No, I'm dating.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you. Praying for you and happy for you at the same time. So, where do you get inspirations for such as this? I mean, like I said, that could be half my phone calls with my girlfriends, just the title alone. The other half could also be the title of your other play Love Letters to the Black Man. That could be the other half of my phone calls. Well, no, it's got to be some political organizing phone calls in there, but you understand what I'm saying. Where are you getting the inspiration for these pieces?
Inspiration to me always comes from just life in general. Like, I get inspiration walking down the street. I may see something, and then that inspires me to write. And the next thing I know, I have a play or, a monologue written. So it's just life in general inspires me.
So, Shaneisha Dodson, who do you look to? I mean, because I'm listening to you, and it sounds like you might be the next Tyler Perry, but who do you relate to? Who do you consider to be an aspirational figure in that space?
In that space is so many. But if I had to narrow it down, it would definitely be like a Tyler Perry or a Ava DuVernay, like those type of people that really like put in work. Like if Ava writes something or she's directing a movie, I'm going to watch it because I know she's going to give it 110% and it's going to have some type of meaning behind it. So again, that goes back to my goal of just being able to be inspirational to people and to bring about positive social change.
Shaneisha Dodson, when I first came to L.A., my business manager at the time, this was a long time ago, my business manager at the time told me, do not tell people you can do more than one thing, because most people that come to this town can't even do the one thing they say they can do. Don't say you're a writer, producer, MC, community organizer. Don't do it, because you'll be a model actress, whatever, which means you can't really do anything. But you are a playwright, and you also have a company that Brilliant Girl, right? You have a company that's creating dolls and looking to inspire young girls to dream big. You're a playwright. You've got a master's in psychology. Like, it sounds like you have not taken my business manager's advice one bit.
No. But everything falls up under a creative realm. Like with my Brilliant Girl company, it started from a book. I have a niece who loves bedtime stories. So I wrote this book called The Adventures of Sugar Mama. And I was getting like a lot of DMs from parents saying, oh my gosh, I love this book. I read this book to my daughter every night. So I was like, what could I do to get Sugar Mama inside of people's households? So I created Sugar Mama, which is an 18-inch black superhero doll. But it all centered around my little niece, who I nicknamed Sugar Mama because she's so juicy. And that's how the doll came about. But everything stems from like something creative. And then it just usually takes it on its own path in life.
So you just go, with inspiration where the wind blows, as long as it fits your profile for your social impact.
Yes.
Will Sugar Mama come to the stage? Not to be confused with Sugar Daddy, by the way.
Sugar Mama's our little superhero.
Yeah, a black girl superhero. And for those who are that want to be reading that story to their kids every night, where can we find that?
So you can get anything from our website at www.thebrilliantgirl.com or anywhere books are sold. If they don't have it in the store, they'll order it for you.
Thebrilliantgirl.com. Do you think that is that an intentional name based on this idea that we, as black women in particular, but women in general, are meant to dim our light and appear less brilliant than we are in order to be considered lovable or desirable as women?
Yes, everything has an intention behind it, because I want you to shine your light. Never, ever dim your light for anybody. Always be the best you can be and try to reach that full potential.
That sounds good on paper, but many times in relationships, and we only have a minute before news, traffic, and sports, so we can explore this more on the other side, but especially in job situations, as women, we have to play dumb. so that we don't get, so that we can thrive in the workplace.
Yeah, I'd be like, whatever Shaneisha you get, that's what you're gonna get.
You say, shine your light and come what may, and just take the consequences of that.
Yes. Because you got to look at it like, if we're dumbing ourselves down, think about the people around us who's watching us and maybe wanting to follow in our footsteps. I always say, be the best version of yourself, and if they can't take it, find somewhere else to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think that sounds right. It sounds absolutely right. But the functional comings and goings of a workplace might not always unfold in that way. I mean, I've been in meetings where I bit my lip because I know the answer, but they're going to think, oh, she's showing off, she's showing out, she's a overbearing, angry black woman, overcoming stereotypes as black women when we come forward with Shaneisha Dodson on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former NFL receiver, African-American Henry Ruggs is being sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for a deadly DUI crash in Las Vegas, Nevada. The accident happened in 2021 and ended in the death of Tina Tintor and her dog. Ruggs slammed his Corvette into the back of her car, causing it to go up in flames. He reached a deal in May, agreeing to plead guilty to 1 felony count of DUI resulting in death. We're now learning the 2023 Emmys are officially moving to next year. The Television Academy announced this morning the ceremony will now take place on January 15th. The ceremony had been scheduled for next month, but was postponed due to the ongoing actors and writers' strikes. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and VINnews.com.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers get a shutout at Arizona last night to win their fifth straight. Right-hander Bobby Miller kept Arizona off the scoreboard for 6 innings before the bullpen took over in the 7th. The Dodgers are back home tonight against Colorado. The Rams rank third among NFL franchises in net value. If you want to buy the Rams from owner Stan Kroenke, it will cost you $6.94 billion. Rounding out the top 5, the New York Giants at $7.04 billion, New England at $6.7 billion, and the 49ers at $6.15 billion. The Chargers are at number 18 at $4.63 billion. LeBron James' son Bryce has changed his mind about going to Campbell High School in Studio City. The 6'6" junior is planning to transfer to Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame. One of the guards in Sherman Oaks is a guy named Mercy Miller, son of rapper Master P. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it. Together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African Americans and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Spa Business Ready, and B-Warp The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial missions to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets?
For Lens Linen, staying in the comfort zone is never an option.
Maximum thread count we could possibly thread.
An industrial seamstress would make their sweet dreams come true.
I want it to feel like you're on a snowflake, on cotton candy, on marshmallows, on a cloud.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You do, and so does Shaneisha Dodson. She's my guest. She's an award-winning playwright and an entrepreneur, founder of Brilliant Girl and Black Girls Productions, born in Arkansas but lives in Burbank. Shaneisha, I was talking about how we dumb ourselves down, how we dim our light a little bit as women in general and black girls in particular in order to thrive and survive in the workplace and in relationships. And part of that is pushback to stereotypes about women, particularly black women. We're angry, we're loud, we're so-called masculine. So in your narrative, which is don't dim your light, dream big, do you, F them all. Well, you didn't say that. Basically, you kind of did. How do you navigate those stereotypes?
And that's the thing, those stereotypes have been put on black women for years. So we can't get caught up into what people think about us. We got to go and always be our best version of ourselves. Just think about it, any, aspect of our life. You walk outside or you say something to somebody that somebody don't like, hey, that person is angry. Hey, that person is this and that. But, yeah, just don't get caught up in what people think about you.
Yeah.
Because you'll never be able to reach your full potential at that point because you'll always be concerned. Because you look at it like this. You can be the best person in the world and people can still say negative things about you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've had that experience one time when I was on a trip when I didn't talk at all. Oh, she's not talking because she's an angry black woman. I was trying to keep my mouth shut and keep my head down, and I still got stereotyped. Let's talk about this woman, Tiara Allen. She's known as a sassy trucker. She went to Dubai, right? A lot of people like to go to Dubai. For some reason, black people love to go there, have their picture taken with, camels and things. And then, anyway, she got in trouble for supposedly shouting in public during an argument at a car rental company. She was arrested. She was jailed. They would not let her leave the country. She finally got out recently. Had to pay $1,300 to have her travel ban lifted. Apparently, her car, she wasn't allowed to get her stuff out the rental car. There were charges on her card. All this because she was supposedly shouting in public. Again, to me, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, but it sounds like targeting of a black woman. You're too loud.
Yeah, I always say when you get ready to travel, because I travel a lot, learn the laws of that land. Like some areas are very strict. You got to be fully covered. You got to have your hair covered. You can't talk loud. You can't shake hands with somebody. You can't approach somebody. So always learn, like wherever you travel to, learn their rules, because sometimes their rules are completely different than what they are in a state. And I'm just like you. I don't know what happened, but I travel a lot, and those rules are sometimes different. To us, it may seem like, okay, that's way out there, but that's how they move around in those different areas.
I mean, that's understood. We always have to be culturally aware and not be ugly Americans. But again, you know, you're talking about, I wonder if Taylor Swift would have gotten the same reaction. Not just Taylor Swift, but somebody that looks like Taylor Swift. You know, because
sometimes they'll lock you up because you hear about people like hiking and running across to another country. They going to jail regardless of what they look like. Because some of those countries do not play with people.
Yeah, well, I think that's right, but I also think that there is an element of black girl scrutiny that we often face. I'm thinking about, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, right? I mean, Tory Lanez just got sentenced to 10 years on yesterday or the day before, hearing that he'll serve 9 because of time served and other adjustments, whatever. I was actually really surprised by that because the public reaction to him shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot was not to believe her, to vilify her, to say she was a drama queen or that she was a liar or a diva or, you know, a snitch or whatever. Just all kinds of weird conspiracy theories. She harmed herself. And to me, this is an example of the way we as black women are often treated in the media, in the workplace, in relationships. You know, people shouting out free Tory Lanez and you know, and posting terrible things about Megan on social media. I don't know her, never met her, but I could feel her pain.
Absolutely.
So again, you know, you're saying, yeah, just do whatever, and then, you know, they deal with it. But what does Megan do? Like, you know, and that's, well, I guess she stays the course and he goes to jail, but she's still dealing with the trauma.
Got to live with
the
that
hit to
trauma
her career.
every day of her life.
Right. So how does that figure into your
on your mental health?
Right. So how does that play into your just do you and F them whatever they say theory?
You still got to do it because look at, like you said, she was a victim in this situation and she still got vilified. So, yeah, you still just got to do you. In her case, get some therapy because that's something traumatic. You're going to deal with it every day of your life. And then she's a public figure, so you're living your life out publicly. People are going to always make some type of judgment. You got to be able to block that noise out or it will get the best of you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think, you know, there's a piece of that can be almost, because all of that vilification was not coming from men. A lot of it is coming from other women. Is that Stockholm syndrome, or and I've heard this from my friends who are attorneys, that women as jurors are harder on other women than men are. So what about, you know, how should we be moving differently as women to affirm our brilliance, to affirm our, you know, our own healing and well-being?
A lot of times people have to think about, like, how would I respond if this happened to somebody that I love? Because, like, a lot of time with the media, I don't care how wrong the person is, if it's somebody who people enjoy their music or their acting, they're going to lean toward that person regardless of how wrong they are. So as women, we got to be strong. And again, block that noise out. Be able to focus on yourself and focus on whatever it is that you want out of life and then move from there. But I always emphasize therapy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. You studied psychology, pivoted to entertainment. So I'm assuming that means you yourself have done some therapy.
Yes, and I first started working on my master's. That was part of our program. We had to do some form of therapy.
And what did you discover?
With mine, I discovered like some unhealed issues with my biological father not being present.
Oh.
So I worked through all of that. So that's how I found my healing.
And is that impacting your relationships and most importantly your relationship with yourself?
when I was younger, it affected like my dating relationships. Like I was very cutthroat, move on to the next, but that's because of his absence. But once I healed from that, I was able to move forward.
Yeah. So healing yourself, I hope that we as Black people are moving beyond this fear of therapy and getting into a place where now we are looking to heal ourselves rather than pointing the finger, women ain't ish, men ain't ish, back to this division, right? Instead of saying it's because she says she's independent or he's too feminine or she's too masculine, that in fact we need to look at what is my role here, what is my responsibility, how can I how can I make things better instead of repeating the same patterns over and over again.
Right.
Yep. We're talking with Shaneisha Dodson, and she's a psychologist, an entrepreneur, and a playwright whose goal, from what I can tell, is to uplift Black women and looking at the roles we play in our own progress, in our own upliftment, in counteracting those negative stereotypes, rejecting all of that pressure, in finding our wholeness, our self-care, our self-love, our progress. You're welcome to join 800-920-1580. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Watering Your Lawn During the Hottest Time of the Day and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry
At
products.
Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Just roll it. Drop it. Just roll it. Drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Broadcasting live from Lower Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
And y'all heard me talking because I'm always focusing on what's good about the Forbes 50 over 50 list. Forbes magazine, of course, one of the premier financial journals in the world. And they do a 50 over 50. I think they do 30 under 30, and this is the other end of the spectrum. And just by coincidence, happenstance, 26 of the women on this year's list of 50 over 50 are Black women. Not something they set out to do, not a special program, just by virtue of the fact that we are killing the game. And I have committed to you to share who some of these folks are with you, because, of course, we know the name Viola Davis. We know the name Patti LaBelle, although we may not realize that her company is now worth $86 million. We're talking about her food company, you know, them sweet potato pies and all that stuff. $86 million. She never has to sing again. But some of the names may not be as familiar, like Cheryl McKissick Daniel, the president and CEO of the nation's oldest BIPOC-owned construction firm, McKissick & McKissick, dealing with projects worth $50 billion, including renovating JFK International and LaGuardia International Airport. Catherine Coleman Flowers, an environmental justice advocate who's fighting for the improvement of sanitation and water conditions. Water is going to be the oil, right, of the second half of the century. Sanitation and water for communities of color, for indigenous people in low-income areas, in rural areas. And she's the founder of the Center for Rural Enterprise and Environmental Justice. Kim Folsom, who's the founder of two different businesses that work to bolster small businesses. First Capital Partners, which is the biggest BIPOC woman-owned investment firm for small and medium-sized companies anywhere. And then something called Founders First Community Development Corporation, which is a business accelerator for small enterprises. And these are just a few. She partnered with Vice President Kamala Harris in the Treasury Department for a $10 billion investment fund for small businesses that's meant to be inclusive. I say all this to say, Shaneisha Dodson, you know, yes, I'm always going to point out, how do we fight through the stereotypes? How do we affirm ourselves as feminists, as strong, independent women? Forget the independent, strong women, thriving women, dependent, or I think we're all, as human beings, interdependent. But this stereotype that because we're working now we're masculine, or we don't need a man, or because we, have agency over our lives, that somehow that means we don't have a love letter for the black man. We don't have the ability to be united or to be part of, the ecosystem of a thriving community. But I also want to point out these success stories, right? These women that are doing amazing things. So when you see this, 50 over 50, 26 of them black women, I'm sure one day you hope to be on that list. What do you make of that? What do you take away from that?
It makes me feel good, because I think that representation matters. If you see these women, they've accomplished this level of success, that's showing a black girl somewhere else, hey, I can do this too. One day I can make this list. So to me, it's all about representation, nothing but kudos, and I'm here for all of it. I think it's excellent.
And for you personally, do you have that inspiration, as a woman? I mean, you talked about Tyler Perry and, and Ava DuVernay, of course, but as an entrepreneur, is it Oprah? Is it, I don't know, do you have anyone in the space that inspires you as an entrepreneur?
Definitely Oprah. It's like everything that she touches turns into gold. From the outside looking in, it looks like it's easy, but she's putting some major work in behind the scenes. Not
married, no kids. Is that is that a reinforcement of the stereotype that you have to be, I don't need a man city? I mean, she does have a guy. We never see him.
We got Stedman.
Yeah, but where is Stedman? All I see is Gail. Maybe Stedman just knows how to keep a low profile. Something I'm not so good at. We're talking with Shaneisha Dodson, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheSkin.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job. Whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless face. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell, engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
The conversation continues right now with Dominic DePrima on First Things First.
It does continue right now, and we're talking with Shaneisha Dodson. I want to remind you, before we continue the conversation, please follow us on social media. We appreciate you. It does make a difference. I'm streaming right now on YouTube, KBLA 1580. But wherever we are, it's KBLA 1580. If it's Twitter, if it is Facebook, if it is Instagram, no, we're not on Instacart. We're on Instagram. It's KBLA 1580. And you can find me at DePrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Please like, follow, and subscribe. It does make a difference. It makes us stronger. It helps us to show that we're making a difference and to keep in touch with you about all the great things and opportunities we have going on around here at the only Black-owned talk radio station west of the Mississippi. And we're in such an exciting journey. We're only 2 years in, and already Tavis Smiley is in syndication. New Orleans, of course, announced as his first city, but there are more to come right after Labor Day, which is just around the corner. So please do catch up with us on socials. I check out my DMs, so if you're DMing me, especially on Twitter and Instagram, I will definitely hit you back. And let's keep the conversation going after the show. Shaneisha Dodson, how can we follow you on all the social media platforms?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Black Girlz 12. That's BLKGIRLZ 12. Facebook, I'm in Shaneisha Dodson, or you can search Black Girls Productions or The Brilliant Girl. If you have a little one and you like dolls, children books, toys, and things like that, you can follow me on IG at _Brilliant Girl.
The Brilliant Girl, your company with dolls, is meant to be an inspirational hub for Black and brown girls, celebrating Black girl joy, providing representation, ethnic dolls, products around STEM and math, careers. Just about a little over a minute here. Shaneisha Dodson, what do you hope that we will pass on to the brilliant girls that we're raising, whether we're mamas or daddies, uncles or aunties?
I want us to pass on the strength for them to keep going regardless of what type of obstacles that they will face in life. Because remember, things will always get better. Just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing. It sounds like that's what you've done, and I congratulate you. If we want to see love letters to the black man, what should we do?
All right, so if you want to see Love Letters to the Black Man or any of our productions, you can follow me on social media because I will always announce our next tour date, or you can visit our website at www.blackgirlsproductions.com.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Shaneisha Dodson, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you, too. Thank you for having me.
And tomorrow is 50 years, according to most scholars, a 50-year anniversary of hip-hop. How fitting that that falls on Miles' birthday, since he is a rap artist taking hip-hop forward to the next 50 years. I will be at the Oakland Museum in the city of Oakland on Friday night, celebrating the Bay Area hip-hop archives. A lot of artists that you know and love, like The Coup, Digital Underground, and so many more, will be there for that celebration. So if you're in town in the Bay Area, come on out and join me. We're going to have fun, and we're going to learn a lot about our contribution as black people to the founding of hip-hop. I'm Dominique DePrima. Time to pass the mic to Mr. Smiley, Tavis Smiley, owner of this radio station. History's now. You know that. We're making it together.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former NFL receiver, African-American Henry Ruggs, is being sentenced to 3